Human civilization doesn't evolve in a straight line. We didn't go from monkeys slowly over through all kinds of civilizations into this beautiful, the most advanced day and age that we live in right now. Human evolution is more circular than that. And where we are right now, we have been before in a different shape and form. Another notion is that human intelligence as well and capacity to know doesn't evolve in a straight line where we went from really primitive to so advanced where we understand the most advanced physics and mathematics and things like that. Just as Earth only looks flat when you look like that, but in reality it is the circle. The same way, when you look at what's happening in our civilization, it seems like a straight line progress, but in reality it is not. It is circular. We only assume that we are the most advanced we have ever been. In reality, we are just coming up from a deep decline of our human civilization and human knowledge. That decline was called Piscean Age, or it was called Kali in India. And one of its main features was birth of big religions and strong faith that signal the decline of knowledge. So how did it happen? First of all, the people in power realize the less knowledge and education people have, they are then easily controlled, manipulated, fooled. So that's why they destroyed. Lots of knowledge has been destroyed. Lots. Like, I can't even imagine, you know. So they went on destroying these things. But also what started to happen, and that ties into the beginning what I was talking about, the sun circling the galaxy, is that we started to lose the access to the center of the galaxy, to these electromagnetic waves. And we stopped having that internal knowledge that would help us, that would make us more certain in what is right and what is not right. That brought up a lot of fear, anger, frustration, and lack of love. You know, lots of brutality has been done in those dark times. Here is an assumption: is that we think that knowledge is just something you can pour in, you know, read something, and then that's it, you have the knowledge, you know, that you can go into school and everything that they tell you, it's already in you and, you know, you're going to absorb. That's not how knowledge works, right? Like, not everyone remembers the same thing they learned, even though they really try. Not everyone has the same experience and is not processing that knowledge the same way. Knowledge is an internal understanding to the questions that you already have, and then you search and look for the pieces that finish the puzzle in you. And this is a place that I am coming from. This is a place where I am explaining these from. And when we were going through these dark times, when we didn't have the access to the center of the galaxy, to this divine love, divine intelligence, we were, whatever people told us, nothing was sinking in, nothing was clicking. We were not sure. Someone would tell you the earth is flat or earth is round, and you will be like, I don't know. I guess it is flat. It seems flat. That's how easy it was then to fool people. You would tell them that emperor is God, and they will be like, okay, yes, I believe you. So what started to happen is that because people didn't have that internal knowledge, they lost it. They lost that intelligence and access to it. They started to follow authorities. And they were like, well, okay, well, at least we'll have to agree on something. So we'll agree on this authority, and maybe that's going to lead us into certain path that is going to be with less distraction. So they either had like Caesars, or they had kings, or emperors, or religious leaders. Like Christianity has been fighting knowledge since the beginning. Because they knew the knowledge, because the knowledge and faith are two opposing things of one spectrum. The less knowledge you have, the more faith and devotion you have to have that this is right. And then the more knowledge you have, you don't need as much faith because you know. Right? Like, it's like this student who is not very smart, so he has to study really hard and remember these exact things. He has to have a faith that this is the right thing, that whatever he has read over there, he has to have a faith that this is the right thing without having the internal knowledge and just repeat whatever someone told him. As opposed to another student who actually understands the physics and understands the laws and understands the formulas and is able to present it at any moment. Whereas this other student who were just like, memorizing everything, he doesn't know how he got there. He doesn't understand why 2 + 2 makes 4. But he has to have a faith in order to deliver the results. That whatever he has learned is truth. You know what I mean? So that's when the biggest religion started to be born. And people were so eager to look for answers. People themselves were looking towards the Pope and asking how should we practice our faith? Is this the right? There are actually in some of the annals of the times there are I don't know why they're called annals, but they're called annals. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but they're spelled annals. Okay, so in the annals from the time when Christianity was just beginning in Europe, there is this Bulgarian king who had asked the Pope, I think like 100 questions about everything, of how to practice, from most banal thing to like the most kind of theosophical knowledge. People were looking to authorities to tell them the truth. And this is something that we still live in to this age. And we are still not able to trust our own knowledge, to trust our own knowing. We are still kind of looking up to authorities to tell us the truth. Now we have authorities like scientists, and we have authorities like government, and we have authorities like banks, and we look up to these things, to these people. We still have faith, But more and more, we will begin that internal knowledge, and we will be much less easily fooled. And actually these days, I think scientists are the ones that are holding up the knowledge, because they are not willing to open their mind to more esoteric things. If they would get much further faster. In Piscean Age, it was very, very easy to dim the light, to dim the knowledge, to shun upon the knowledge, to throw dirt on knowledge. And it was done continuously. It almost became an entertainment of the times. It's something that is still deeply rooted in our group consciousness. And it's like a habit that we can't seem to shake. Someone asked about Aquarian Age on Facebook, and I explained what I knew about it. And then there were these other people, and they were like, "Oh, and do you also believe in fairy tales and unicorns and things like that?" And I was just like, okay. And I was kind of impressed that I didn't get upset at all. Because I knew, this is my knowledge. By shaming me, by throwing dirt on what I believe, you're not going to dim it anymore. I know it. It's deeply in my heart. And it's deeply in my bones. But in Piscean Age, it was very easy to overturn what people knew. And Christianity has done it very successfully. It's very sad. And lots of good practices, like for example yoga and meditation, had to be kept secret because of the shunningness and all the dirt that has been thrown into. And what has not been kept secret, the yoga that has not been kept secret, was very simplified, and its energy was very diluted. And that's why Kundalini Yoga was kept secret, because the more people would know about it, it would just get more diluted, because people just didn't have the ability to understand it. They would just have to repeat whatever, and that's how it was passed along. But at least it was passed along in a small, tightly knit community. It had to be passed on from a teacher to a student in an exact form without changing anything. But now it's time for this knowledge, because we are able to understand it. And that's why I think it is our responsibility as Kundalini Yoga teachers and practitioners to study these teachings. Ask yourself for answers, and you will know because of your practice. Keep practicing, ask the questions, and you will know the answers. Why are we sitting like this? Why this like that? Why this like... You will know the answers. So, and here is interesting thing that is going to happen, is happening with this shift of the ages and the shift in human consciousness and evolution of human consciousness and the human ability to know more. Now we have that. What's going to start to happen? There is a huge shakeup between the old way of thinking and new way of thinking. And both sides are going to try to hold on to the reality of what they know. Like right now, the Islam is holding on to the strong devotional faith without knowing why. Because this is the world they know. And they don't want that world to collapse, because they don't know what's on the other side. It's just fear. The same with people who are holding on to their traditional beliefs here in the United States. It's like they don't know, what if these other people convince us? How will the world look like? How will I live in it? It's very hard for people, because the truth is that reality is created in a group consciousness. It doesn't exist on its own. It is an agreement of all of us. And when disagreements are going on, right? When some people are not believing what you're believing, you really feel like as if your world is collapsing, because that agreement is breaking. And that's why there's just so much inspiration of trying to let go of fear. There is really no fear. Nothing is going to collapse. And that's why meditation helps and yoga helps, because it will help you get your mind ready for this new age that's coming, that's already being restructured. Otherwise, it will surprise you too. Otherwise, you will feel like holding on, because it does feel like something is collapsing and you don't know what's on the other side. But if you keep on tuning in, you're going to tune in now. It's the right time. Now we are going to get the very strong divine intelligence coming to us. What it also means for all of us is that now people are not going to be able to be fooled anymore by authorities. When someone tells you the world is flat or round, and you read world is flat and you read here the world is round, you're going to know the difference. And that's why even now we have so many opposing stories, so many opposing theories. It is your job to actually find out what is the truth. And you will know it because it will resonate with you. It will click, like as I said, it's a real visceral feeling, tangible feeling almost. When that knowledge sinks in, that's how you will know. You are not going to be easily fooled by liars, by people who wear masks on their faces. You will see the truth because of your inner ability to know. And it's a really beautiful thing, and that's exactly how the evolution will progress. And those who will try to put the dirt on you or shun your light, try to dim it or whatever, are just not going to have power over you, because the light will be so strong. You're not going to be fooled anymore. They're not going to be able to put doubts in your mind. On a personal level, you have to keep up. We all have to keep up with our practices. This is not the time to just start enjoying the life. This is the time to keep tuning in with your intuition, keep developing the pineal gland, pituitary gland, keep our body healthy. Okay, another example of the declining of the ages. Olympics were very popular in ancient Greece. People really believed that only in healthy body you can have a healthy mind. And boom, Olympics goes through the dark period for 2,000 years and resurfaces at the beginning or at the end of 19th century or beginning of 1900s. That's not coincidence.